On April 26, 2008, a woman named Elisabeth Fritzl suddenly appeared to police in the city of Amstetten, Lower Austria, saying that she had been held captive and raped for 24 years by her own father. This is the story of Elisabeth Fritzl, who was kept in a secret basement by her father, Josef Fritzl, where she gave birth to 7 of his children. The case shocked the world and brought attention to the issue of spousal abuse and imprisonment. Josef Fritzl was born on April 9, 1935, in Amstetten. He grew up as an only child, raised solely by his working mother. His father, who was a severe drinker, had left the family when Fritzl was 4. In 1956, at age 21, Fritzl Jr. married 17-year-old Rosemarie, with whom he had 3 sons and 4 girls, including Elisabeth, who was born on April 6, 1966. Fritzl supposedly began sexually abusing Elisabeth in 1977, when she was 11 years old. In 1967, Fritzl broke into the Linz home of a 24-year-old nurse while her husband was away, and raped her while holding a knife to her throat, threatening to kill her if she screamed. He was also named as a suspect in a case of attempted rape of a 21-year-old woman, and was known for public exposure. Fritzl was caught and served 12 months of an 18-month jail term. At age 15, Elisabeth started her studies to become a waitress. In January 1983, she ran away from home and went into hiding in Vienna with a friend from work. She was found by cops within 3 weeks and returned to her parents in Amstetten. She rejoined her waitress course, finished it in mid-1984, and was offered a job in nearby Linz. On August 28, 1984, after Elisabeth turned 18, Fritzl lured her into the basement of the family home, saying that he needed help carrying a door. In fact, Fritzl had been turning the basement into a homemade jail cell. The door was the last thing he needed to seal it. After Elisabeth held the door in place while Fritzl put it into the frame, he held an ether-soaked towel on her face until she was asleep, then threw her into the room. After Elisabeth's departure, Rosemarie made a missing persons report. Almost a month later, Fritzl turned over a letter to the police, the first of several that he had forced Elisabeth to write while she was in custody. The letter, dated Braunau, stated that she was tired of living with her family and was staying with a friend. She told her parents not to look for her or she would leave the country. Fritzl told cops that she had most likely joined a gang. Over the next 24 years, Fritzl went to the secret room almost every day, or a minimum of 3 times a week, bringing food and other supplies and frequently raping her. Elisabeth gave birth to 7 children during her captivity. 1 child died shortly after birth, and 3, Lisa, Monica, and Alexander, were taken from the room as babies to live with Fritzl and his wife, who were accepted by local social services officials as their foster parents. Officials said that Fritzl very plausibly explained how 3 of his baby grandkids had appeared on his porch. The family got regular visits from social workers, who saw and heard nothing to raise their fears. Following the 4th child's birth in 1994, Fritzl accepted the widening of the jail from 35 to 55 meters square, putting Elisabeth and her children to work, digging out dirt with their bare hands for years. The prisoners had a television, a radio, and a video cassette player. Food could be stored in a cooler and cooked or warm on hot plates. Elisabeth taught the children to read and write. At times, Fritzl would punish the family by shutting off their lights or refusing to bring food for days at a time. Fritzl told Elisabeth and the 3 children who stayed, Kirsten, Stefan, and Felix, that they would be killed if they tried to escape. Investigators decided that this was a fake threat to scare the victims. He also told them that they would be shocked if they tried to mess with the basement door. According to Fritzl's sister-in-law, Christine, he went into the basement every morning at 9, allegedly to draw plans for machines that he sold to factory companies. He often stayed there for the night and did not allow his wife to bring him coffee. A renter who rented a ground-floor room in the house for 12 years claimed to hear noises from the basement, which Fritzl said were caused by faulty pipes or the gas heating system. On April 19, 2008, Fritzl decided to seek medical care after Kirsten, Elisabeth's oldest daughter, fell asleep. Elisabeth helped him take Kirsten out of the room, and he saw the outside world for the first time in 24 years. He forced Elisabeth to return to the cell, where she stayed for a final week. Kirsten was taken by ambulance to a nearby hospital, the Landesklinikum Amstetten, and was admitted in dangerous condition with life-threatening kidney failure. Fritzl later arrived at the hospital, saying to have found a note written by Kirsten's mother. He discussed Kirsten's situation and the note with a doctor, Albert Reiter. Medical staff found parts of Fritzl's story odd and informed the police on April 21st. The cops aired a plea on public media for the missing mother to come forward and provide information about Kirsten's medical background. The cops reopened the case file on Elisabeth's disappearance. Fritzl rehashed his story about Elisabeth being in a group and showed what he claimed was the most recent letter from her, dated January 2008, posted from the town of Captivity. The cops called Manfred Wolfart, a church officer and expert on cults, who raised questions about the reality of the group Fritzl outlined. He noticed that Elisabeth's letters seemed scripted and weirdly written. Elisabeth begged Fritzl to be taken to the hospital. On April 26, he freed her from the cellar along with her boys Stefan and Felix, bringing them upstairs. He and Elisabeth went to the hospital where Kirsten was being treated on April 26, 2008. Following a tip-off from Dr. Reiter that Fritzl and Elisabeth were at the hospital, the police arrested them on the hospital grounds and took them to a police station for questioning. Elisabeth did not provide the cops with more information until they told her that she would never have to see her father again. Over the next 2 hours, she told the story of her 24 years in prison. Elisabeth recounted that Fritzl raped her and forced her to watch sexual movies, which he made her reenact with him in front of her children in order to shame her. Shortly after midnight, police officers finished the probe. Fritzl, age 73, was taken on April 26 on suspicion of major crimes against family members. During the night of April 27, Elisabeth, her children, and her mother Rosemarie were taken care of. Police said Fritzl told detectives how to enter the basement room through a small hidden door, opened by a secret keyless entry code. Rosemarie had been unaware of what had been happening to Elisabeth. On April 29, it was reported that DNA proof confirmed Fritzl as the actual father of his daughter's children. His defense lawyer, Rudolf Meyer, said that, although the DNA test showed incest, proof was still needed for the claims of rape and slavery. In their May 1 daily news conference, Austrian police said that Fritzl had forced Elisabeth to write a letter the previous year, showing that he may have been planning to free her and the children. The letter said that she wanted to come home, but it's not possible yet. Police think Fritzl was going to pretend to have saved his daughter from her fake cult. Police spokesman Franz Polzer said police wanted to interview at least 100 people who had lived as renters in the Fritzl apartment building in the previous 24 years. On March 19, 2009, Fritzl was sentenced to life imprisonment without the chance of release for 15 years. He said that he accepted the sentence and would not appeal. In May 2017, Josef Fritzl changed his name to Josef Mehrhoff, possibly due to getting into a jail fight that resulted in several of his teeth getting knocked out after other inmates set up a fake dating page with his name and picture. In April 2019, it was claimed that Fritzl's health was failing and that he did not want to live longer. In January 2024, Fritzl applied to Krems Regional Court for release from jail into a care home, but the application was refused. Despite his failing health and desire to no longer live, he continues to serve his term for the crimes he did. Fritzl's case remains a frightening reminder of the horrors that can exist behind closed doors, and serves as a warning tale of the effects of such unthinkable actions. So if you love this video, please like and subscribe to our channel to stay informed on more true crime stories and talks. Thank you for watching.